And a very good Sunday morning to you. And what is a lovely day? I can say nothing else about the kind of day it is here in Manchester today. It's lovely. Blue skies, very, very few clouds, and big yellow ball. So, you know, anybody who's watching can probably hope here in England that maybe tomorrow, being a bank holiday, as we all really know, it's going to chuck it down. But if it's like this, and you're going out with the family, maybe a great day. As the title says on this video, what I want to talk about really is the results of the local and mayoral elections that happened last week. As we all know, and as we all no doubt expected, a complete and utter rout where the elections were for our current government. They are ineffective, disloyal, in my opinion. They don't care about the electorate, they don't care about the country, they don't care about the effect of everything that's happening on this sceptred isle, on the people of this sceptred isle. It appears to me that the indigenous and long settled people of these isles are being put a very distant second to people who are arriving in this country by illegal means. They are not fleeing a war, as far as I'm aware. France is not at war currently, so they have no need to leave France. They're arriving here not as refugees, as financial migrants, and as far as I can see, they bring nothing as far as knowledge, intellect, intelligence, skills, or anything like that to this country. They're being fed, watered, housed, and funded. So was it always going to happen? What happened? Well, yes, of course it was. Those of the electorate who could have been bothered going out to vote, and it was a very, very low turnout, were always going to punish the Tories in this particular route at this point in time, because what else were they going to do? But what I don't understand, and I really don't understand, let me tell you something that may shock the older guard, if there's any of my old guard watching. I actually voted in this, but I voted in the mayoral election. I don't particularly like Andy Burnham. He's not a Manchester lad. He comes from Merseyside, our kind of neighbouring county. I don't think he has any particular love for Manchester, Greater Manchester. He is a career politician, and the route I believe he's taking, he is wanted to be mayor of a major city, and as queer fate and happenstance has happened, he's found himself mayor of not only a major city, Manchester, but all satellite towns and cities around Manchester. So he's got a lot of power. He's also crime commissioner, but he's palmed that one off to his deputy, so they get all the nasty questions where that crime and detection are concerned. That's how little interest he has. So why am I saying what I'm saying about Andy Burnham? This is remember this video. This is what I think will happen. He has wanted to become mayor of a big city, so in my opinion, Manchester is still Britain's second city, England's second city. I know that Birmingham is governmentally known as Britain's second city, but that's solely based on population, not on importance, in my opinion. Am I biased? Of course I am, but I think I'm actually fairly accurate in that. What I think will happen from this point on, because I think this is his fourth term, what I think will happen, his next move is to find a safe Labour seat. and I think that will be of an ex-Manchester Mayor, Graham Stringer, who's a local MP, Labour MP, and I think he wants to retire because I think he's in his 70s now. I think that Andy Burnham will stand for that seat. I think he will be elected to that seat. That will obviously get him them to be an MP, then obviously securing a seat in Westminster for him. I think then he will bide his time for a little while. But when Keir Starmer steps down, or there is a challenge of no confidence at some point in Keir Starmer, Andy Burnham will stand to become leader of the Labour Party. And of course, you know where I'm going next. He will be hopeful at some point that Labour will win a general election, a further general election. We all know they're going to win the next one, but some point in the future, and he will become Prime Minister. It is my belief that that is his career path right now, and has always been his career path from day one. So Manchester was a stepping stone. It is not of any interest to him. He's not achieved really anything. He's turned my home city from a city I used to love and adore walking round. It's a very beautiful city, not as beautiful perhaps as London, but some lovely buildings in Manchester. Piccadilly Gardens was a lovely, peaceful, beautiful place with fountains and flowers and places to sit, and now it's a crime and drug ridden hellhole, and he has allowed that to happen. But on the wider picture, we see Rishi Sunak and his cohorts get a complete and utter thrashing for the reasons I mentioned back at the beginning of the video. The electorate are now so fed up of ineffectual and disloyal and dishonest politicians that was always going to happen. Now the thing that interests me is that Sadiq Khan has got in again in London. Now, how does that happen? Well, how it happens is self-explanatory, which I'll touch upon in a moment. But if you kind of step back, even as a non-London resident, you can see that the crime rates are skyrocketing. The amount of knife violence is skyrocketing. The ineffectual behaviour of the Met Police is skyrocketing. The cost of living in London is skyrocketing. You've got the cost of ULEZ going into London every day is killing people who have to travel into London every day. The expansion of ULEZ will now go forward. So how possibly did he get in when all he's succeeding in doing is making life an out and out misery for Londoners? Well, the upshot basically is, I'm going to move on from what I was going to say. I will put this at the end. He has a block vote. He has the BAME block vote, but mostly the Pakistani block vote, and also he has the benefit of the postal voting system. Instead of everybody having to turn up in person with ID to put your X in your box so that they can confirm who is voting and yes, that's you, you can just send your voting by post, and no one really knows. If you come from an ethnic background where a lot of names sound the same to the untrained ear, how do we know that a lot of these votes are bona fide? I don't know. But that's the reason, excuse me, that's the reason he's got in. Of course it is. And the other reason, even though the turnout was low, that Labour overall got in. I know that other parties got seats here and there on councils. I appreciate that. And the thing that annoys me is that coming up to the election, I kind of tweeted, oh, I can't get used to saying X. I don't know, it doesn't feel right. I tried to get people to realise that what they needed to do was vote for anyone accept the two major parties, because both of them need to realise that we, the electorate, deserve better. And the only way to do that is make them feel unheard, unwanted, unelectable. But the problem is, going back to what I was saying I was going to miss out on, I'm going to put it here, is you have got traditional, dyed-in-the-wool, brainwashed voters. People who will vote Labour because they always have. Their dad did, their granddad did. They come from an industrialised area because the Labour Party are all for the working man. Yeah, of course they are. The same applies with the Conservatives. You're going to get the middle and upper classes voting for the Conservatives, but it seems that even this time, not even the middle and upper classes could be bothered coming out, because they're so disenchanted with the Conservative Party as it stands at the moment, because the Conservatives are not Conservatives right now, and I don't understand how people don't see that, and why people didn't just vote for somebody else, the Monster Raving Loony Party or whoever it may be, just to dig a sharp stick into these traditional political parties to make them realise that we're not going to take it anymore. Why didn't they do that? I just don't understand. So, did the Conservatives get what they deserved? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Rishi Sunak is probably the most ineffectual Prime Minister we had for quite a while. I'm trying to ignore Liz Truss, although I have a little bit of sympathy for her, because although the measures she took caused a financial crisis, had people not panicked, things may have been alright. And 47 days or whatever it was, a little bit rich to push somebody out so soon. So where do we go from here? Well, we're all very aware that whenever the general election is going to be called, Labour's going to get in. There is nothing that the Conservatives can do now to save their future, and there will be they're even considering that a lot of the cabinet members will lose their seats in the general election. I don't think that's something that, well, very rarely happens, if ever happens, that a sitting cabinet member loses their seat. What do I think should happen? Well, I think in this country, the country is, if it carries on as it is, which it obviously will, and get worse with the Labour Party, we're lost. We are lost as an indigenous majority white Christian country. We are just lost now. To solve it, the only thing I can see is for a party to come into power, and I'm not mentioning any names whatsoever, who are not afraid of being called Islamophobic or racist or transphobic or whatever. They have got to come in with one aim on their manifesto, and one aim only, and that is to return Britain to a majority white Christian country, and anyone who wants to settle here has to not abandon their faith but adopt our way of living, respect our laws, and speak our native tongue of English. And that at the moment isn't happening because people, MPs, the House of Lords, the police are too afraid of being called racist. So we have to have a bunch of politicians who are not afraid of that. They've got to come in and have the guts to speak the truth. With all these people that are coming in our southern shores at the moment, I'm not going to sit here and say that we're going to have hundreds and hundreds of potential terrorists coming in, because it only takes one. Here in Manchester, as you're probably aware, we had the bombing in the Manchester Arena a few years back now. That was one person. One person who was an asylum seeker, who was part of the so-called community here in Manchester, who arrived matching up to all the descriptions of potential bombers with the backpack on his back of an Asian origin. And because the security teams were too worried about being called racist or profiling a certain type of person because of his skin colour, he was not searched. He was not searched. He entered the arena, and we all know what happened then. So it's not like we need to worry about hundreds of terrorists coming in. We need one or two to get into a big arena, and we've just had a brand new big arena here in Manchester, the Co-op Live Arena, which is apparently a magnificent place, but it's not working too well at the moment. But nevertheless, we just need one to get in there unsearched, because security are too worried about having the racist slur placed upon them. We have the Etihad Stadium, we have Old Trafford, we have the MEN Arena. All these places and all cities around the UK have massive arenas, and all these people are coming in, entering the black economy, and maybe entering more sinister organisations who are already placed in and around major cities in this once great country of ours. So the solution to our governance is that party, whoever that party is, who is willing to do the right thing regardless of what accusations may be thrown their way. That is the solution. But as things stand, we're lost. And I am heartbroken to actually say that about my country, my group of countries. If I was 25, 30 years younger, I would now be looking at leaving this land. Now I don't know where I would go. It wouldn't be Europe. Ironically enough, it may well be the UAE, a Muslim country. Now I've been there. I spent quite a lot of time in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. It is futuristic, it is peaceful, and as long as you live by the rules, and that's all I'm asking of anybody who comes into our country, as long as you live by the rules in the UAE, it's a beautiful place to be. And if there's any young people watching this and they want to grow up away from what is coming down the line in this land, they need to look elsewhere. This is happening all over the West. The West is going to be lost. We're seeing influx of immigrants in Britain, Ireland, all over the EU, Canada, America. All of these people will and want to change their way of lives, our way of life, and that needs to be altered. And the current political groupings in this country don't speak for me. Nobody speaks for me right now, not even Reform, who are supposedly be the second coming for people who love this land. And especially Richard Tice has said things recently that rub me up a little bit the wrong way. So let me know if you voted last Thursday. I don't care who you voted for, just let me know if you voted. Let me know if, like me, you voted for the first time in way over a decade. And let me know what you think about the current political climate in this country. Whether you feel like me there is a potential very dangerous threat coming along in this country. And let me know if you think I'm wrong. So for now, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Give this a thumbs up, spread it around. It's important that these messages get out there, and it's important that I hear from other people regarding what's actually happening in your town your city, no matter where you are in the 4 countries of the United Kingdom. And let me know how you're feeling right now, whether you can think of any solutions for the immense problems that we have right now in this country. If it's your first time here, please subscribe. If you're one of the old subscribers, please check, because I'm still losing subscribers. Now, I appreciate that happens, but anybody who's making content on YouTube at the moment will say that they're losing subscribers and they don't know why. And quite a lot of the channels that lose subscribers are the ones on more the right of centre of politics, and I'm finding that bigger channels than mine are finding that. So please, if you find yourself unsubscribed, please resubscribe. And if you'd like to get notified that for all these type of videos, tap the little bell icon and you'll get a little notification when I do one of these. So that's it for this one. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon, maybe tomorrow, with something else. Bye bye.